Joining me now, Carrie Sheffield, national editor of Accuracy and Media, and Alexander Hefner, host of The Open Mind on PBS. Let me go first to you, Carrie. How do you read the president saying here at one stage that we're going in, there was actual launching of military toward Iran over the shooting down of a plane or whatever you want to use the term. I think the president referred to it as maybe a plane with Chuck Todd, and then pulling back, saying that when he was told it was 150 people, he felt it wasn't equal. Then he also, all of a sudden, because the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi called them, pulled back on sending ICE out to go and get what he said would have been thousands of illegal immigrants. Are we seeing him playing a bait-and-switch game, bluffing like a schoolyard bluff person? Or are we seeing him that is sincerely saying, I'm going to try this strategy and no, this isn't worth it? What are we seeing here?
I think what you're seeing is a negotiator. You're seeing a negotiator who is setting the terms. They call it in negotiations, there's a zone of possible agreement, a ZOPA. So he is moving the ZOPA in the direction in which he believes that our country needs to go. For example, in Iran, his predecessor showed incredible weakness. The Iranian nuclear deal was a total giveaway to the Iranian regime, which was murderous and wants to wipe out Israel. And so what we have is a president now who is standing up, who is taking back those billions of dollars that have been pumped into the Iranian economy because of the predecessor's deal. And so what we're seeing now is the president is standing up to the aggression that we saw, with the Iranians. There's no doubt that it was the Iranians who were perpetrating this aggression with regards to, the ships. And so it's the same with immigration. There is an unmitigated crisis at the border. And his predecessor, Barack Obama, as the president said in the clip that you played, he did what he could. He was the one who had started the family separation policies. And again, those images of the children being locked up, those were from the Obama administration. So you see a president now who is in good faith trying to urge Congress to negotiate a deal here so that we can stop the separation, so that we can stop this flow
Alexandra,
of migrants.
In reality, the drone was shot down. The president and he himself says he has hawks and doves in his inner circle. President went hawkish, and then he backed up. And I don't see where that solved any of the Iran questions. In fact, he was the one that took the country out of the agreement with Iran. And in terms of the separation, I don't recall under any previous administration people separating and taking children out of the arms of their parents, out of their mother's arms. And he defended that all the way until now, when he's starting re-election mode. He defended that and said that it was the right thing to do. And now he's saying, well, my predecessors, he's been in 2.5 years. You can't keep talking about your predecessor. This is now his policy. He's got to own it and deal with it. And we're seeing more people come across the border under him than we did under President Obama, since he likes to keep going back to his predecessor.
This was President Trump's first appearance on Meet the Press as President of the United States, and he's there for one reason. He knows that Fox News viewers are not sufficient. So it's faith in an electoral strategy to make himself mainstream again. But the rest of the country recognizes that he can't exploit the medium that is mainstream to win re-election, because in all honesty, Meet the Press does a disservice to its viewers at this point to host a megaphone for bigotry and for lies, disinformation. I mean, he's disinforming his audience on the issue of immigration, on the issue of Iran, and frankly, it's time for the media to recognize that if he is going to expand anew his demagoguery and try to rope in the major networks and cable outfits to achieve that goal, where they are just complicit in furthering that agenda. So he's on Meet the Press for that reason. He's not on Meet the Press for an honest public policy deliberation with Chuck Todd. He wasn't on with Stephanopoulos for the 30 hours on ABC News for an honest, good faith effort to understand the crises in America. He's not. Let's look at what his mission is. It is re-election, and he recognizes he can't only win with Fox News loyalists.
Well, Kerry, you also can't say that my policy is a continuation of my predecessor and he's distorting that. Then what is his policy? If he was elected saying he was going to change things, you can't then say, well, I didn't change things because that's how they were 2.5 years ago. He's been there long enough. What is his immigration policy? All of his statements about he was defending the separation of family separation. He was defending children being taken. Now, all of a sudden, he's helplessly saying I was doing what was already there, which is disputed. I mean, this will not wash 2.5 years later. This is 2019.
Well, unfortunately, his hands are tied by Congress, and we know that Congress has failed repeatedly and over and over.
How is his hands tied in terms of family separation? The Congress has not said to him he couldn't stop family separation if he's claiming that was what was happening. Tell me how the Congress is stopping him from saying I'm not separating children from their parents. I'm not putting children in cages. How's the Congress stopping him from doing that?
Congress is incentivizing more and more children to be used as
that
human
does not
shields.
Say
Absolutely.
That does not answer my question.
If you
Karen.
look at the migratory
How is the Congress stopping him from saying I'm not separating children from their parents at the border? And how is the Congress stopping him from saying we're not going to have children in cages where they can't get dental care and other health care? How's the Congress doing that?
Congress needs to approve funding. That's another issue that has been over and over. Congress failed to approve funding.
That has nothing to do with
Absolutely
children being taken from their parents, Carrie. Please answer my question.
If you actually go to the border and you speak to the border agents, and so you've heard, and you see that they are running out of funding, they're running out of resources.
They don't need funding not to take children out of their parents' hands, Carrie.
They need funding to create adequate resources to hold people who are influxing the border, because Congress has created loopholes that incentivize using children as human shields. If you look at the migratory patterns of immigrants who were coming to this country, in the past, it tended to be single males. And now, because of congressional loopholes, it is incentivizing family units. Or
that has nothing to do with my question. Alexander, is there anything, since Kerry has not been able to give me an example, that you can say that Congress has done that would impede this president from saying we're not going to take children away from their mothers and we're not going to put them in cages where they don't get health and dental care? Is there anything you could tell me that Congress has done?
This president mocked his predecessor's use of executive authority, executive orders. If he wanted to take care of the situation, the inhumanity, the recklessness of the policies governing immigration at the border and these detention concentration camps, depending upon how you would define them, he could take action. He took action on the Muslim ban. He said, here's a class of countries we don't want entering this country, citizens of which we don't want entering this country. I'm going to enact a policy without Congress, without due deliberation, rashly, updated later, sanctioned by the Supreme Court. Of course, he has the authority to provide the humane and rational approach to this situation, but he refuses to, because the politics, in his mind, are advanced by appealing to those hardcore constituents that don't acknowledge the basic fundamental human rights of these children. That's why he has a deputy AG defending, not giving these children beds, soap, not providing livable opportunities during this transition period, let alone in this country. Of course he could do something, but his DOJ...
And that's my point. I'm going to have to step in because we've got to go on. We'll bring both of you back. But, I mean, if you're going to represent a policy, whether I agree or not, stand up and own it. You can't say I need funding to stop taking kids out of their mother's arms. That is, to me, ducking the issue and frankly, trying to mislead the public. Kerry and Alexander, thank you.